Alright, so I didn't really have any ideas for a video for today. I didn't really know what I was going to upload, but I found a list of things that I made when Modern Warfare was announced and they were showing off some of the multiplayer. I made a little wish list of things I wanted to see, and I thought I'd just point out what I got and what I'm kind of missing out on. So it's a list of 17 things, and out of the 17 things, there's only a couple that I got, in fact only 5. So that might sound bad, but some of the things I mention are a little bit far-fetched. They're very much so my own personal preference. So the things that I did get out of my 17 things was Sniper Glint, Contextual Leaning, separate ADS and non-ADS sensitivities, hybrid attachments, and a night mode playlist. And we essentially have a night mode playlist in Hardcore, and Realism has them mixed in. I honestly hope that they dedicate an entire season to just filling out the rest of the maps with a night mode. That way we could play more maps at night and then have just a night playlist for either Hardcore, Realism, or Core mode, because the night mode is one of the coolest things in this game in my opinion, and it's completely underutilized. So that's 5 things that I got, but there's 17 things here. So what were the 12 things that I wrote down that I didn't end up getting? So first things first, a firing range. A place like in Advanced Warfare and Call of Duty World War II, or in Modern Warfare Remastered, where you can go in and test out guns without having to load into an actual game or a private match. Now I really wouldn't ask for anything like that. I wouldn't ask for a firing range anymore because we can change our class mid-custom game. Instead, what I would ask is the ability to change class without respawn. That would be an amazing setting where I can just swap between different classes, customize my gun on the fly, and not have to respawn in order for those changes to take effect. Testing out weapons would be a breeze in that type of scenario, so that would be a great feature. So go ahead and bug all of the developers on Twitter about that, because I think it'd be very cool to be able to swap attachments on a gun that I'm testing without having to respawn, because it's inconvenient to do so, especially if you're testing out things on like Anya Palace because you want to test bullet drop or you want to test range damage against your friends. It's really frustrating, so hopefully they make it so you can do that. Also, I think it'd make for fun private matches if you could just swap your class entirely without having to respawn. Next thing on the list is drop shot prevention. I kind of wanted a Black Ops 4 style drop shot deterrent where as you're dropping down, you're not able to aim down sight, and I still kind of want that. I can live without it because the time to kill is so fast, it's really hard to screw somebody over because you're drop shotting. A lot of the headshot multipliers are really high, so if you stick your face directly at somebody while you're proning, you're oftentimes going to get killed. But if they were to add drop shot prevention, I wouldn't mind, but it's certainly not a deal breaker to me. The next one is kind of funny. Now that we know what kind of progression system we have, I wanted prestige weapons. Like, every time you prestige, you get a new gun. And I still want that. I still want a brand new gun at the end of the 155 levels. And if they're concerned about people not being able to get there, then they can either make the levels faster, or do more double XP weekends, or provide people with a lot more double XP tokens. Maybe a daily 15-minute double XP token, so you're encouraged to use them knowing that you're going to get one the next day if you log on. So anyway, a weapon at the end of the max level of each season would be great, because we have these visual variants, but if you don't like the way it looks, then there's no point in using it, and I'm just going to customize the attachments to my liking anyway. So a new gun would be good, but I think they're going to keep their guns in the battle pass. If this game did have a traditional prestige system, I would have preferred if it had a traditional prestige system, but if it would have had that, I would have wanted prestige guns. It doesn't work as well now, and I don't mind the way that we're getting guns, at least as we've seen so far with the Holger and Ram 7. This next one is really unfortunately funny. I wanted separate highest score players for second round, and basically what that means is at the end of a game, the 2 people that did the very best, no matter which team they're on, are guaranteed to be separated at the end of the game, unless they're in the same party together. That would make solo queuing a lot more fun, but we don't even have a coherent lobby system like we used to. Matchmaking and lobby systems in Modern Warfare are currently pretty shitty, and you can't really tell who you're getting into a game with. There's no lobby leaderboards. You can't really develop rivalries properly because at the end of a game, you're kind of just tossed into a different lobby. Sometimes you get a carryover person, but it doesn't seem to be deliberate. Either way, if we did have a classic system, a guarantee that the two best performing players get put on opposite teams would be phenomenal. I hated when I would solo queue in Call of Duty, and two players that were really good that they weren't paired up, they weren't friends, like they did really well, and then they got to do really well again the next game because the game just kept them on the same team. I think that's a more clever way to do skill-based matchmaking, personally. I don't know what you guys think about that, but I think if everyone's solo queuing, the best players in the solo queue should have to face each other instead of getting to gang up on one team. Now the next one's really sad because I don't see anybody else lobbying for this, but I guess I'll mention it again here because it's on the list. An FOV slider on console. There's no reason that this game is so advanced in so many ways, and yet not even on the mid-cycle refresh consoles like the X and the Pro, not even on those can we get an FOV slider. But yet we're expected, if we have crossplay enabled, to be okay with fighting PC players, but we can't even have the same field of vision that they do. Kinda bullshit. Needs to be fixed. Needs to be changed. If there's one thing that I cannot, justify or defend, it's the lack of an FOV slider. It's in the game. Just put it in the console version of the game. If the game just can't handle it, let people know. Say that increasing the FOV will decrease visual quality of the game, and maybe you can turn down anti-aliasing or lower shadow quality. Let's just say that's what needs to happen. If it needs to happen, fine. Let people know that's what's happening. If I can maintain 60 FPS but have an 85 to 95 FOV, that would be fantastic. Not the 70 shit that you have me locked into now. It's not unplayable, but it's unreasonable. Number 9 on this list, I guess it's not number 9 in the list of things I didn't get, but number 9 on the list of 17 things was day, night, and weather cycles. This was definitely never gonna happen because it's too fucking cool. I wanted a system like Battlefield 1, and I guess Battlefield 5 has it now, where every time you load into a map, it's a different weather cycle, or has the potential to be a different weather cycle. But I wanted them to also toss in different times of day. So you play Petrograd morning, or Petrograd evening, or Petrograd afternoon. So the map you play would have a different lighting setting depending on, I don't know, a random set of factors. I think that would be pretty fucking cool, because Petrograd could just look different, or Piccadilly could be during the day, or whatever, and I think that'd be kind of fun. Go ahead and let me know what you guys think down below, but I think that'd be great. But also weather cycles. Have it be a little rainy, have it be a little foggy, nothing to really fuck up my vision, just obviously you can tell there's a mist in the air. I think maps like Hackney Yard would look really cool while it's raining or with a bit of fog over it. And then maybe on some maps like Gunrunner, you could have it be snowing. I don't know. I think it'd be fun. I don't know what you guys think about that, but I don't know. Visual variety is important, and I feel like Call of Duty's been lacking that. That's why I love the night mode in Call of Duty. That's why I want them to do more with it. But yeah, that's never going to happen. It's too damn cool. And the next thing on the list didn't happen either, which was a Ghost-like create a class system. Call of Duty Ghosts, love it or hate it, had the best create a class system we've ever seen. And the only problem with it was crutch perks. Crutch perks like Dead Silence, and Amplify, and Focus, Quick Draw, and Stalker made selecting your perks kind of a no-brainer. If you wanted to win gunfights and you wanted to get around the larger maps, you would need Marathon, Ready Up, and Focus, every time. But the system on paper, where every perk has a different point value, is fantastic. Also, I liked that your attachments didn't count towards your pick 10 perk system, so you added a weapon, and then the attachments on it didn't really count against your perk setup, which is phenomenal, because in Black Ops 2 or any other pick 10 style game, a red dot means you can't have blind eye, or a red dot or a laser sight means you can't have a lock-on launcher, which are just not equivalent things. Me wanting to see something that I'm gonna shoot at with a red dot should not keep me from having a perk or a frag grenade. It's just dumb. A red dot sight is not equivalent, so I like that the Ghost system treated every perk as it had a different value and didn't punish you for having attachments. I think with the Gunsmith, a Ghost-style create a class system could have really worked. I like that you could spec things for speed, or stealth, or anti-streak, or whatever you wanted to do, because the perks gave you that option. If you remove the crutch perks, and turn those crutch perks into attachments in the Gunsmith like we already have right now with the stippled grip and different foregrips and stocks and weapon perks, turn those into attachments, and then the perk setup could be all about your playstyle. No focus, no ready up, no stalker, no quick draw. And instead, you build classes for stealth or resistance or objective play or anti-streak play, or, have a miscellaneous perk section like Call of Duty Ghosts had with some kind of weird ones in there. And then you can adjust the values post-launch. So if a perk is maybe being too used, it's a little overpowered, instead of nerfing the perk, you can make it cost an extra point, give people 10 points to customize their perks, and have one perk that's maybe a little, dominant in the meta, increase it to 4-point perk. So it works the same, but you have to sacrifice for it. Would have been a great system, and it breaks my heart that we never saw it. As I'm reading down this list, there's another one here that's kind of dumb. I wanted idle sway for head glitchers, and this game has idle sway, but it also has ample ways to reduce idle sway, and there's also mounting. So idle sway for head glitchers didn't really work out, but also head glitchers are really punished in this game, especially if somebody's using an AK or a SCAR, because they can two-shot your head. Despite those weapons' recoil patterns, they will melt you if they hit. So I don't know. I feel like there's lots of guns in this game that punish head glitchers, and you can also flank head glitchers pretty well in this game as well, or just mount your gun on an opposite wall and take them out with pretty much zero recoil. So I don't know, that one's kind of dumb. I guess they could do more idle sway while mounting, and that could nerf mounting just a little bit, but I don't know. Anyway, the one after that is more important to me: map interaction. Map interaction has not really been seen since Advanced Warfare or Call of Duty Ghosts, and it bums me out. I wish we could destroy more things. I wish we could punch holes in walls, and I wish we could just do more. I don't really know. I could start listing things off. Open big parts of the map, like with Black Ops 1 with the giant doors on the map, radiation when you open up the middle and kind of opens up that bottom underground lane. Or just little stupid stuff like dropping the front gate on the castle on Stonehaven in Call of Duty Ghosts and then being able to blow that open. Or how about you have a map with some ice so you can bust the ice and people will fall through if they're standing on it at the wrong time. I don't know. Map interaction is completely slept on in Call of Duty. It doesn't need to compete with Battlefield. I just think it adds a little bit of personality to each map. And you could just have an option for competitive to just turn it off, because I think Advanced Warfare had that where you could just turn off dynamic elements and stuff like that. But personally, in Call of Duty Ghosts, I enjoyed knocking over the gas station and punching holes in certain walls. It was scripted. It wasn't Battlefield Frostbite Destruction, but I don't know. It didn't take anything away from the game. It made the maps feel a little bit more interesting. I think it's a net benefit, personally, but you guys can argue about that in the comment section. I will not chime in on that. I already stated my opinion here. This one kind of breaks my heart as well. I wanted character progression. I wanted to make my own character and then have them level up throughout each and every game mode. I mean, every multiplayer game mode, Spec Ops, and even campaign. And instead, they went the crappy operator route, where you have, operators, and not like your own character that you unlock boots and gloves and hats and scarves for, you know what I mean? I wanted to accessorize, I wanted to play G.I. Joe dress up, but I can't, and it sucks, and I hate the fact that I'll fight a team that has 15 people playing as Charlie or Mara on it, or there's 3 D-Days, and my friends are like, oh, boom, you always play D-Day, so I keep halting my shot every time I see a D-Day, but then they're on the enemy team, and there's 4 of them. It's frustrating when there's 6 Krugers that are all using the default Kruger skin, and you kill one, and you kill 2, and then it's you get killed by one, and you have to read the names and be like, did he just respawn there with attack insert? And I don't know, it's hard to distinguish people unless they've spent money, and it's kind of lame. Now, I guess maybe I'll just go back and play Advanced Warfare if I want good character customization. Whatever. This last one I've left unchecked because it's not fair. I wanted a survival mode. I knew that was there from the moment I started reading down this list, but there's something so morbid about reading that out loud, because I wrote this in June of last year, and I was like, oh god, I hope they have a survival mode. Not only is the survival mode shit, it's also not for every platform, and so I'm not counting it. So hopefully we get one soon. And the last one is super small, and if you stay till the end of the video here, I don't know why, but either way, on my list it just says fucking ziplines. I wanted ziplines. This sounds so dumb, right? But I wanted power positions that have ziplines going either down to them from a higher point or down to the ground from the power position itself. And I wanted that. Imagine the main big white warehouse on Grozny Raid with a zipline that takes you into the trench. Like, killing people off the zipline would be fun, but also so would ziplining down there and then landing behind somebody and assassinating them. Ziplining from one end of a map to another. I think it would have been stupid, but fun, and I think it could have added some fun moments. It's such a weird thing. I'm like, oh, I want a firing range, or I want weapons for prestiging, I want an FOV slider, but then at the end here, it's like, I wish I could zipline. And if you guys have played the Black Ops 1 DLC map that allowed you to zipline, you should damn well know why I want ziplines. That kind of just goes under interactable map stuff, but yeah, ziplines would be cool, elevators would have been cool, escalators would have been cool, really anything. Honestly, Modern Warfare's maps are very cool in my opinion in a lot of ways. I don't love the way every one of them play. I think the spawns are the biggest problem with them. But I just wish there was a little bit more liveliness to them. I wish there was dynamic weather on them, and I wish that there was zip lines and elevators and stuff, and really like do what Call of Duty Ghosts tried to do, but do it better in an updated engine where it's prettier and cooler, it can serve more functions. I don't know. That's the end of this video. I'm a little sad reading these because some of them I really wish happened. Like, I wish we would have had more interesting things on the maps and actual character progression and, you know, but I'll live. An FOV slider. The FOV slider is the only thing on this list that in my dumb gamer brain, because I don't have developer brain, the FOV slider is the only thing in my dumb gamer brain that just screams, do it. I don't care what it costs. I don't care what your excuse is. Infinity Ward, just do it. There's no reason to not do it. You would have a hard time explaining to me how my Xbox One X can't handle the game with an increased FOV. When Battlefield 5 and Battlefield 1 and Titanfall 2 and Doom 2016 and even mods on Fallout, I mean, hell, people are modding COD 4 back then and extending the FOV, and not even on the 360 with a mod, a user-based mod. It had less, it had very little performance impact. Way less than I thought it actually did. So, honestly, if you're going to justify not adding it, I'm not going to listen. Just add it. I have no reason to believe that, because it's in the game. It's in the PC version of the game. You've built it in. So just fucking give it to everybody. Stop being stingy. See you when I see you guys. Goodbye.